Hey, this is Hotrod here. We're back with another hot shot, number 10. Number 10. And today I have referee extraordinaire, Will Blanton. I tell you what, it has been a long time to be able to get Will Blanton here on the hot shot. Will has refereed all over the area. He knows a lot of guys, knows a lot of things going on. Kind of going into semi-retirement now. But it's good to have you on, Will. How's it going?
I'm doing all right, Rodney. Thanks for having me.
Man, always good to have you, man. Now, I like to get started, kind of getting people know who you are and all this. And how'd you get started refereeing? I guess this first question: how did you get started refereeing all of a sudden?
So before I knew about TAJJ back in the day, I was friends with one Marcus O'Neill.
Marcus O'Neill. I know that guy.
And we were friends. We knew that we both liked wrestling and everything. And all of a sudden, I'm staying awake way too early past my bedtime. This is 22 years ago. My senior year of high school, just started thumbing through the TV, and I saw this like 5'0" scrawny kid that looks almost like my friend Marcus winning a championship belt in the parking lot of a transmission shop. So I'm like, this seems interesting. And one thing led to another. I was at a show I was at a couple of shows back-to-back weeks, and I just got a wild hair up my butt, and I was like, hey, y'all need someone to do things for the show. I'm available if you need me. And it's like, okay, July 31st, 2003 at, I think call time was about 3:30, 4 o'clock that day. And I helped set up the ring, and all of a sudden it was brought to my attention that Antoine Smooth and I can't remember the other ref that they had, but they were having their own storyline with each other, and they needed another ref for their match that night. So I donned the stripes and got to work my first wrestling match.
Okay. So basically, you got to work that first one for the kids at THJ, huh?
Mm-hmm.
How now? Let me ask, because I know you were there, and I think that's probably why I met you at. How was that? How was that experience for you? How was that first time you get in the ring, with these guys and seeing what they do and all that?
It was an interesting experience because at the time I didn't expect to be in a situation to be put in the ring. It was more of at the spur of the moment because, I remember people running around trying to figure it out on who to use, and everyone's like, hey, what about that new guy in the corner? So I was not everything at a wrestling show sometimes goes according to plan. And for that being my first one, it was more of a shut up and listen scenario, because I was stepping into this world of, yes, I've only seen it on TV. No, I have no, at that point, athletic experience. So it was more like, close your mouth, open your ears, and just learn from there.
Okay, well, there you go. See, that's a good way to learn. I mean, work experience, that's on the job training. I mean, that's a good thing, on the job training. And you've refereed more than just TAJJ. You've refereed in a lot of different organizations. If you had, what would be your most favorite? What are your most favorite organizations that you enjoy working with? Or you can just tell me the ones that you work with. Doesn't matter. Give me the list if you got a lot.
I remember doing a one shot for a company called EWE out in, I think it was Ripley. And I remember TIWF when they were doing shows in either Jackson. It was before the current location. I know that.
Jackson and Trenton. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. MAW, because I really didn't have to travel that far.
Mm-hmm.
Just still within my own city. And I honestly loved working for TAJJ. So without them, I wouldn't have been able to travel and learn from so many different people.
Okay. Okay. Let me ask a question. You said that about TAJJ. What made TAJJ special to you? What made it special to Will Blanton?
The fact that they didn't like going into it. I honestly thought that it was just going to be a one shot, just go in, referee that thing, and then all of a sudden I get contacted through AOL Instant Messenger. I can't remember who it was, but someone got in contact with me and said, "Hey, we're going to need you for the studio taping shows at Dungeon Transmission." And all of a sudden, I'm like, "Well," and when I showed up, they didn't treat me like yes, I was a rookie. Yes, I was relatively brand new to everything, but they just had a bunch of open arms when it comes to that. And it took me no time at all to actually learn and be respectful, and try not to look as green as I was. And they were helping me out with all that. I took my first bump in a TAJJ ring, so I can't. I was able to breathe, stand up, and continue on. But for them to accept me so quickly, it was just one of those things of like, I wasn't expecting it, but I was very surprised that it actually occurred that way.
And well, you're also working with a lot of people your age and younger. And I think that had a lot to do with it. I don't think it's much of an experience factor, because I think everybody's trying to gain some at that time. Mm-hmm. That's what made TAJJ great. I mean, you guys grew up together. I mean, the times I went and saw it and was there, I mean, it was a team effort, which is a good thing. So do you have any, let me ask this, maybe a silly question, whatever. Do you have any favorite people that you enjoy working as a referee? That you have people you like, man, I'd like to referee their match.
Excuse me, there is a message for you.
I don't care.
I don't have particular like favorites, quote unquote, but like my best moments came from like working Danny B, Chris Lex, Marcus O'Neill, I can't. Caution. Mm-hmm. There was Carnage Antoine, like those, like
Reno Diamond. Reno Diamond.
Yeah, Reno Diamond. Like I had fun working with everybody. Mm-hmm. But what got me was that it took absolutely no time at all. Like when people started going or migrating to MAW after TAJJ folded, it's like you had a bunch of people who were like, I'm not tooting my own horn here, but I'm trying to be as humble as I can about it. But those who reached out,
this is the place you would toot to.
Okay, toot then. Mm-hmm. When people started reaching out to me, and it's like, hey, I want you to ref my match. Those are the type of people that I like. Oh God, who was it? A couple of times. Dre Black was one of them.
Okay. The Punisher.
Yep. The Caution was one. Carnage Antoine was one of the very first people who were like, you're going to be with me.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just the way that we were able to interact with each other. We knew how our styles, my referee style, his in-ring style, like, we just flowed so evenly, not evenly, but we flowed so well with each other to where it's like people were starting reaching out to me for that.
Okay.
And those are the type of people who I actually,
Excuse me, there is a message for you.
I'm sick of you. I've told everybody, don't message me now. Go ahead.
Those are the type of people who I enjoyed working with. God, I can't remember his name, but he had he was a police officer when he was working with working at TIWF.
Lawman Williams.
Yeah, Lawman was another one.
Mm-hmm.
Back when Devon was booking for TIWF,
Devon, the
it was always
great Devon Day.
And I have a really great Devon story when we start getting to that point. But it was just those people who I naturally clicked with, and those were the few people that I came up off the top of my head, because we are looking at like almost 15 years. Jesus,
long time. Okay, so let's go a little bit. Okay, we did TAJJ and they folded, and you went on and you molded it into MAW. So after that, what happened after MAW?
That happened during or after MAW?
Or after
After
MAW, where'd you go after that?
Someone who is in this call drugged me to TIWF on a random Saturday night, and it was like, hey, we need a ref, are you free? And at the time I started going to TIWF, we were still doing TAJJ at the time, and you were like, hey, you want to do a double shot with me? And I was like, I don't know you that well, but cool. I'm down. Like, as long as I'm being, taken care of one way or another, like, even if I make it home safely, that's taking care of me, and I'm good with that. So at the time, I was just wanting the experience, and I think it was like maybe 8 or 9 months after I started, where it was like I started traveling with you. So thank you for that.
Oh, well, look, it was my honor to see you rep. That was a good thing. And the good thing about TIWF we did was, not trying to toot their horn too much, but I'm tooting everything today. We were in Jackson for a while,
mm-hmm.
and you were able to do Jackson. And then when we made the move to Brownsville, we moved, and you could see in Jackson, the crowds were not very large,
right?
But they were lively. It was a nice TV studio area. I mean, it was basically made for TV. And then we went from there to like Trenton, like exploded. Was it kind of? And I know MAW had some nice crowds, but there was something about the TIWF building. Everybody, you had under 50 people that would really look like they were close. Did that kind of intimidate you when that big crowd came in? Were you intimidated?
Sort of. I do remember very vividly. In between that move to Trenton, I did a couple of shots of ASWF out in Arkansas. Mm-hmm. And 1 week I went out there, and it was like, hey, I think Brandon Baxter was booking for a 4th of July show, and he was there at this one particular show. And we maybe worked in front of like maybe 80 to 100 people.
Mm-hmm.
And that he got in touch with me in the locker room, and he's like, hey, you want to work the 4th of July show? I'm like, sure. Like, no harm, no foul, just I'm still in this phase of I'm just happy to be here. So it's like, yeah, if I can get a ride out here, I want my work in the show. And the show was rained out for like the first 45 minutes. And My very first match out there was the semi-main because it was, I worked the semi-main and the main event on that card. And there was literally like the 18-foot ring and then maybe about 400, 500 people on this beach on the 4th of July. And I'm just sitting there and I'm looking around and I'm going, where the hell did all you people come from? I wasn't expecting that many. And then like when you take that leap from a Smallville like Brownsville was to something like Trenton, I've already been numb on the quote unquote large local crowds because I was performing in front of so many people in Arkansas. But as far as TIWF goes, it was a shock.
Because number one, you were in a metal building and everything reverberated when they made noise. It just sounded so much loud.
The when you bumped, the ring sounded good. The crowds, the way that the building is, you can have a crowd of 20 people, and if they are as loud as they can be, it could sound like a packed house.
We've done that too. We've done that. Well, before we had air conditioning, there was a time before we had air conditioning. The crowd.
Oh yeah, tell me about that time where I was a complete idiot and got sent to the hospital because
we'll talk about that later on. But you mentioned Lawman Williams and you mentioned Devon, and I know you probably remember Kilo and you probably remember Big Boy Bob. And I don't know where you were there when we had the AIWF or the UIWA, one or the other. Because I think you refereed one of the championship matches.
I was there very sporadically during the AIWF days. The last time that I was there, I think Devon was world champ.
Okay.
So,
and I think you refereed his title match.
I did.
You refereed it, and I think you refereed the one he lost to Mamacita too.
Maybe.
And yeah, I think you did. He lost the title for a week to Mamacita. That's interesting. But speaking of Devon, so we talk about Devon. I have to tell you this story, and you probably didn't know that Devon's real name was Milton.
I was unaware.
I learned that when we were in North Carolina. That's another story we'll talk about later, another time. But now you said you had a good Devon story, so tell us about.
All right, so
Devon Day, all day.
So there was a anime convention, Anime BluesCon. This was maybe about 20. Wait, so it was ABC 8 or 9. So it was a while ago, and there was a moment in time where I used to smoke cigarettes. So I made my way out to the smokers patio of the Cook Convention Center. And all of a sudden, people are just coming by, having a seat. We're just sitting there shooting the breeze. And the next thing you know, the last person I would expect to see at an anime convention busts through the doors to have a cigarette. He pulls out a lighter. I see him. He doesn't see me yet. And I do this little number. And all of a sudden, I'm like, screw it. He's going to notice me one way or another. This is a 3-day event. He's going to see me at some point. And I just, I just like, screw it. Devon! He looks over at me and he goes, oh, what the hell? And every single time that we would see each other on that smoker's patio, I would be sitting there and talking to other people. For some reason, there would always be someone in the group wearing a wrestling t-shirt.
Okay.
And every single time that I would strike conversations with completely random people, Devon, if he's out there, he'll come over there and he'll start putting me over to absolute strangers. And I'm sitting there like, you're embarrassing me. But then again, I'm doing this number. It's like, keep it up. Mm-hmm. But he was, he was one of the few people that I actually kept in communication with. We exchanged phone numbers and we would just text every once in a while. It's like, hey, did you see this BS on Raw? Just sit there and shoot the breeze every once in a while. But
I think I'm going to do one of these days. I think I'm going to get a bunch of guys in here, and we might just do one thing on Devon. That might be a good deal. Allow some who have worked with Devon, because he is one that's very well missed in this area. He's very well missed, most definitely. But anyway, let's go back to again. Let me ask, do you have any crazy stories? Anything crazy that happened while you refereeing?
There was a time where I pissed off Rick Steiner.
Ouch.
So what this was for MAW. This was when they were doing monthly shows at the New Daisy. Mm-hmm. And I can't remember who was working Rick, but we're sitting there talking in the back, and then all of a sudden, like we're maybe about 20 minutes out. Oh, it was Big Country. I go to Big Country. He goes, like, do you have a finish? We'll call it in the ring. All right. Just to be on the safe side, I go to Rick. Hey, Rick, you got a finish? Call it in the ring. Okay. We're all square. Everyone knows. So we get in the ring. I call it. They give me the sign to go home. And then all of a sudden, the finish was a double pin. The Big Country would lift his shoulder up at the count of 2. Mm-hmm. Rick would still have his shoulders on the mat for 3. Mm-hmm. I stopped the count at 2.
Because the shoulders were up.
Because the shoulders were up, and I did not know 100% what the finish was. Mm-hmm. They go for the same spot again. Guess what happens?
Count 2 again.
And Rick is like, screw this. Grabs me by the collar. Crap canes me out of the ring. And there was a hardcore match that involved thumbtacks in the semi-main. And guess where I landed?
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm. I was riding home with my brother that night, and I wasn't even thinking anything. I was too, upset with myself about what happened. And it's like, I can't believe I just pissed off Rick Steiner. And it's like, start scratching the back of my head going, what the, like, I don't think and then all of a sudden I just felt a little bit further up on top of my head. And all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute. Thunk.
Pulling out thumbtacks.
I thought I got all of them out, but there was one lodged right in the middle of the back of my skull. It wasn't 69 tacks, so it was like maybe 4 or 5, but it still hurt.
Yeah,
don't piss off Rick.
New Daisy was kind of crazy. That was a kind of crazy time, wasn't it?
The New Daisy, like, when I started going to weekly Power Pro wrestling events in high school, I would always see these monthly shindigs at the New Daisy. And I would, like, even though I wasn't old enough to actually go, because I think at the time it was 21 and up. So, like, I would never go to one of these shows, but I would always want to go.
Right.
And it seems like every single show that we worked at the New Daisy, it was literally one thing or another. One of my friends who I went to high school with got a little too drunk, and he stormed the ring.
No. That was not a good thing.
Well, you can only storm so fast when you're a little person. Mm-hmm. And he tried to, like, he got up, he bolted towards the ring, and all of a sudden he's just standing there at the bottom of the steps. And I'm like, hey, go sit back down. And he's like, I want to get in, but I can't. I'm like, good thing. Go sit back down. It turns out that the first step was a little bit too high for him to get up on top of.
sounds like one of those things come on a cartoon. Watch out for that first step. It's a Lulu.
It's a Josie. But yeah, it was like, oh God, I remember cutting my hand open on broken beer bottles because of, oh God, what was it? It was Dre Black and Big Country. They knocked over a garbage can in front of the bar, and it was Falls Count Anywhere. Guess what happened? Count of one, right on top of a broken beer bottle.
The ref was supposed to have his glasses on.
Yeah. Well, when everything's dark anyway, it's really hard to see in the back of that building. I think if memory serves me correctly, the only thing that was actually lit up were the liquor bottles behind the bar.
Goodness gracious. Let me ask a question. Do you remember your final match that you refereed?
The final match that I refereed.
Where or when? That you actually have that you remember. And I know, as I say, you kind of go into retirement. You've had some physical issues, different things to kind of keep you from working. So, what's the last match? Or one of the last matches? You might not know the exact last one. One of the last matches.
I do remember that one of the last few matches before my retirement was during TIWF's very first cage heat show, where every match was in a cage match.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was Kilo and Ripper. It was a three-way dance.
Okay.
And it was either the first person, the pinfall, submission, escape the cage.
Mm-hmm.
And Ripper had someone in a submission. I remember checking on him for the submission, and all of a sudden Kilo just looks at me. I look at Kilo. Kilo just walks out the door. And I'm like, ring the bell.
That's right.
Got a new champ, new cruiserweight champ. So it's like, that is like the most recent memory that I have. I think it was, oh God. You brought him up on the phone yesterday. It was $1 Million Baby and
T-Pain.
It was T-Pain, Kilo, and Ripper.
Okay. And that's ironic because later on, T-Pain and Kilo became a tag team, and they were pretty good. They were called Pure Adrenaline, and I joked because they had the slowest music.
Oh my God! I wish I was there for that.
They're coming music, bang, bang, bang. I mean, very, very slow. But this, you think it's gonna be something like, and they come out with this. It's a nice song, cool country song, but it just didn't fit Pure Adrenaline. But anyway, we've so besides you getting cut and getting almost beaten up by Rick Steiner, thank God Rick and not Scott, okay?
Oh,
you could have got about a big booty daddy, you would have been in trouble.
You would not be having me for this interview. I think my lifespan would have been cut short by about 20 years.
So what was the probably most other insane or funny or kind of memorable thing that you can recall in your record? Because a lot of times I know it's been some years, so you have to kind of recollect some things, and that's all right because it's good to remember every now and then. Those good memories can come back.
The most confusing thing that I remember happening to me at at most of the events that I worked at is I would go show up, shake hands, be polite, and introduce myself to the people who've never met me before, blah, so on and so forth. And then every single time I would get to Derek King, he would be thinking that the promoter is ribbing him. I don't know if it's a joke. I don't know if it's real. We're looking at this 20 years later, and I'm still confused.
Okay.
So that classifies as the weird section of the question. The most exciting thing was quite possibly it was exciting for me because it was one of those adrenaline pumping moments. There was a ladder match that you were, I don't technically think it was a, like, ladders are legal kind of thing.
Okay.
And you were doing commentary for it. And it was a 6-way with Chris Lex, Tattoo, and a couple of other people. Caution made a huge error, and it was a ladder that was posted up in the corner like this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the ladder was situated where if you hit it at the bottom, the top would come flying that way. So wait, Irish whip into the ladder. He tripped, hit the bottom part of that ladder, and that ladder flew
Okay.
in my general direction. And I'm sitting there looking at this ladder, and I'm like, "Yep, time to move." It felt like bullet time was activated. It was like, whew. Well, I'll be damned. Look at this. I guess I better move now. What was the other parts of that question? Funny and hilarious?
Other strange thing. I have one that I think we talked about it yesterday, and I still can get it in my mind. We just can't get who the 3 people were. But you were in a match with a couple of guys. It was
Oh yeah.
Who was it?
It was I remember specifically it was a 3-way dance. And looking back at that, it was probably Danny B. Good, Chris Lex, and Reno Diamond.
That sounds close to what it was. And I remember they were doing sweeps and pull downs, and you're doing 2. I think they did about 10 of them. 10 or 15 of them. And I mean, I had never seen a ref do this. You just said, stop!
Okay.
I mean,
so the story behind that led up to that particular moment. At this particular time, I was a smoker.
Mm-hmm.
And it was that part in time to where it's like, do a match, go have a cigarette, go grab a drink of water. So we're now in, like, I think the semi-main, and all that I know is the finish. And it's like, all right. So leg sweep, 1-2 kick out. And then immediately after that, Danny B would do that to Lex, 1-2 kick out. Reno would come in, sweep Danny B's like 1-2 kick out. At the second one, I look over at Reno and I'm like, bro, do me a solid, slow down a little bit. They get back up, Irish whip, high spots, this, that, and the other. They go right back into it. Leg sweep, 1-2 kick out. Leg sweep, 1-2 kick out. As soon as there was a moment of a triple down, I yelled at it. I yelled at all of them. It's like, stop!
It was hilarious. I mean, the crowd got quiet. It was like,
yeah, because probably because that, they didn't know exactly what was going on, but I knew at least 3 people that were laughing their asses off, and they were sitting right in front of me. It was kind of like the best moment because that was one that resonates the most between the 2 of us.
Mm-hmm.
Like Rodney said, we brought this up in conversation yesterday, and like we were on the phone for 45 minutes, and there was this one thing that we had to talk about, and it was that one moment trying to clarify who that third person was.
When I ask about referee, when somebody asked me about referees before I knew that you were really totally out, I thought about you because I knew one thing, you were competent, You could count to three. Uh,
Yeah.
You could do things you need to do, and you knew how to enjoy enjoy the match. And I think one of the things you look like you enjoy it when you see the guys doing what they do. It looks like that you enjoy it so much. Like I would love to be part of this. I'm doing it because I want to be, not because God, got to be here this week. So I've been in my training. I got to be. It's like, I'm ready for it. I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to it. And that's the thing I think that made Will Blanton great.
And also one of the things that I learned is like we're not signed to contract. We're only going by word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, it's like if you don't feel like you're up for doing something, specifically as a referee or ring crew or whatever, like unless you are assigned to contracts, also listen to your body and your emotions, because one of the things that I learned is that if you're not feeling it and you go and do a show, it's going to be apparent that something is up. I remember that 2 days after my grandmother passed, I call up Rodney and it's like, yeah, I don't necessarily think that I'll be working the show, but I'll be there. And Rodney's like, grab your gear just in case. Like your attitude might be changing by the time we get there. And I'm like, all right, fine. And then I heard the one thing that actually got me into the spirit to actually do it. And it's like, your grandmother's got the best seat in the house. She'll be watching.
Yeah.
And then that was also the same show that I took a pie.
Oh, Lord. Okay, I do remember that. Just
because I think the heels went over every single match, but the crowd was still sent home early, and they just wanted to just hit me in the face.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's better than 1, 2, 3 shoot the referee. That's what they say now.
That okay. If they say that now, then they've been saying it for 23 years. Because they said that when I went to Power Pro, as a fan watching Power Pro. They did that to me in TAJJ, MAW, TIWF, ASWF in Arkansas. What was the company that had these two crazy boys do double moonsaults off a balcony?
I know what you're talking about. Oh, you're talking about SCWA?
Yes.
SCWA. Oh, my company. That's right. My company, SCWA. We said, yeah.
But
I'm still trying to find. Somebody's got that video. Bad News Bennett has that video. Bad News Bennett, if you're online, I need another copy of that video.
Or just post it online. Let everyone see that.
That was awesome. Now, were you there tonight when we did not have a ring?
No.
Let me tell you this story since we can talk about it. Of course, we were in Huntington, Tennessee, and Huntington's a pretty good ways away from Memphis.
Right.
And so we were driving up, and when I got to the show, whoever was going to bring the ring, the truck broke down. So now, mind you, there's 400 or 500 people at the place. So we were sitting trying to figure out what's what, and somebody said, "Well, you know what? We give them what they want. We're going to give them, if they want a show, we're going to give them a show." So I went out and told them what was going on. I said, "Do you all still want to have wrestling?" They said, "Yeah." So what we did was, in Huntington, there's that big, it looked like a basketball thing with a big circle in the middle, Mm-hmm. They used that as a ring, okay? Talk about using your imagination, okay? They would imaginary bounce off, and the crowd ate it up. I mean, they cheered, I mean, they start beat. I mean, they did the whole. They did everything that they would have done with the ring. They just didn't have those 3 ropes around.
You know, my reaction might have said one thing, but if the fans were loving it, then I can't hate it.
Right, and we were like, oh God, we were saying to ourselves, this is not going to work. This is not going to be good. But you had guys like I said, you had Kilo there, you had Fear Factor there, you had East Coast Bad Boys, and those tag teams that were there that really meant something, and it was just the crowd. I mean, they showed their reality for those 2.5 hours, and it made them want to come back next month when we had the show. To be able to do.
And this time it'll be better because it's got a ring in it.
Ring, yeah. So, and you didn't get to do that benefit. You didn't get to do the benefit we had. Probably one of the last shows we had, because you would have actually got to meet Ricochet. And Chuck Taylor. Now, mind you, you're talking about 15, 16-year-old kids, okay?
Yeah.
But I remember Ricochet, he was kind of chunky. He wasn't, built like he was kind of chunky, but all the things he does now, he could do them then. He was doing them then. And I tell people, I say, I saw Trevor when he was a kid. I can say that, and I would love to be able to catch him one of these days. Say, I remember when you first started, son. I remember I booked you in a match. So, it meant something. But SCWA days were pretty good as well. It wasn't but once a month, and it was long drive. It was a long drive, but we had some good matches. We had some good people like you to work with.
Oh,
makes it work a while. Well, I mean, hey, look, one of the reasons I wanted you on here because of my regard for you, of your work, of what you've done, how you're respected by the guy, how you're respected by the boys, how just basically the way you are. You're not stuck up. You're not, you're just that super person. And those are the type of people that I'm gonna have on the hot shot. Positive people. We're gonna talk about things in a positive way. We're not going to down anybody, dog people. I don't want to do that. So I want to get the best of the best. And that's why I have Will Blanton, who has been the best of the best. I wish they'd had an MAW and a TAJJ Hall of Fame. You should be in it.
There's probably a lot. I would be the last on the list, but
I can't say because I know you actually came after I was going before you were there because the Marcus O'Neill thing, was kind of got me. And that was 90 something. That was before 2000. And but I mean, for what I saw, and I'm looking at your body of work in TAJJ, your body of work in MAW, it does. I mean, you've been the guy who didn't have anybody. I've seen you referee a whole show. Okay, well, it's like I know you're tired, but what else is next?
Oh God, what was it? I can't remember who. I think it was Ripper and Wildside.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you hit me up one day and it's like, hey, we're going to need you at TIWF. I'm like, sure. I get in there and it's like, who's the other ref? You're like, you're it. Okay. What's on the card? A 30-minute Iron Man match. All right, at least it's not an hour. Match is over. I get back to the locker room, like trying to consume some form of liquid, and I look over at Rodney and I'm like, "Hey, Rodney, just out of curiosity, was it 30 minutes to shoot?" And he's like, "Mm-hmm." I'm like, "Oh."
We did the whole.
I almost didn't go out there for the main. That was a small part of it that was like, no. But I'm like, they're taking care of me, so I gotta go.
Yeah, that was the time it was hot. You almost died up there. I remember that.
Okay, so There
We
was
went to Trenton. Didn't we go to the Trenton General Hospital a time or two?
There is a. It was only once.
Well, okay.
It was only once, but it was a trip that I never want to take again.
Right.
And it was based on sheer stupidity. So we did, or I was a part of a church event. Call time was 10 a.m. Call time was 10 a.m. Put up the ring, audio, whatnot. Show starts at noon. Show's over at 3 o'clock. Whoever was double booked for somewhere else can go somewhere else. I wasn't planning on doing anything that night. So I do this, like I'm getting ready for the show, and halfway through, one of the boys came in with a cooler full of Red Bull.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, hey, my wife is a Red Bull rep. If you want some, you can have some. I made the mistake of drinking one after each match. There was 6 matches on the card, so I had a span of 3 Red Bulls on average about 90 minutes. Mistake number 1. Mistake number 2. This is back when TIWF didn't have AC in their building. It was the dead of summer.
Mm-hmm.
Inside that building, it was at least 110 degrees. Guess who was the only ref working that show?
Yep.
And like I said, I wasn't even planning on going. Ronnie's like, hey, we need you for Trenton. All right, fine. It was dehydration.
Mm-hmm.
When your body goes numb, either one or two things are happening. Either a nerve is damaged enough to be reacting in a negative manner, or if in my case, from shoulders down to your toes, your entire body goes numb. That's called dehydration.
Yeah.
Got put in a paddy wagon. No, you took me to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And you took my cell phone and called my father.
Mm-hmm.
And you were like, yeah, you just informing you about X, Y, and Z that happened. And then all of a sudden it's like, you had this sound of the disappointing dad, watching, like trying to make sure his kid doesn't croak. And then all of a sudden time passes along to where I see 2 disappointing fathers staring at me, making sure that their kid don't croak.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a touchy, scary situation.
It was enough to where you only make those mistakes once.
One time.
Like the time I found out on the job working at a barcade that I was allergic to grenadine. You learn only once.
Never again.
Never
again. Okay. Well, I know what kind of night makes you anything. Why did we bring? Okay, nothing we wrote again. Okay. So anyway, beyond that, you're away from the sport. I'm just asking, do you ever watch on occasions?
I watch a little bit of everything on occasion. It's more of like in the grand scheme of YouTube highlights. Like I follow New Japan. I have Netflix, so I have no reason to not watch full episodes of Raw.
Except it comes on 3 in the afternoon this week because they're in Europe.
Yep. So like I catch bits and pieces of it here and there. 2019, before the world shut down, I was able to go to Shimmer and Rise Wrestling Weekend in Chicago.
Okay.
I
bet that was fun.
It was quite the experience because like I never left Memphis to go to a wrestling event before.
Oh yes. That's one of the best things when you go away. It makes you appreciate home a whole lot better too sometimes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was able to after each show, we were able to go to this little pizzeria place. I can't remember the name of it, but we were God, who were some of the people that were there?
Let's see, did you go to Lou Malnati's Pizza or where'd you go? Garibaldi's?
It had a like a NASCAR feel to it.
Okay.
It was like one of those racing themed restaurants.
Okay.
But like all that I remember is that it was the fans on one side of the table, and then on the other side of the table were some of the wrestlers and workers and referees, and we were just able to break bread and just shoot the breeze with them for a little bit. The most noticeable name on that list that I actually remember was actually two names: Charlie Morgan and Rosemary.
Okay.
I was there in person when Charlie Morgan did a dive during the Shimmer tapings and shattered her ankle. And although I had this really hilarious Mercedes Martinez story. It was only hilarious because I was legit fearful for my life.
Okay.
You know how sometimes when someone gives you this look like don't talk to me, don't say anything, just let me be. So I'm outside consuming nicotine, and I'm out the back door of the God, I can't remember. Building 147. It's not a country club. It's God, I can't remember the name of the place. But earlier in the tapings, Mercedes Martinez was laying on the mat and she took a power bomb, and someone threw her tag team partner off the top rope and landed on top of her.
Mm-hmm.
She's gone for maybe about 2 hours. I'm outside when this is going on. She's coming in through the back door, and the one thing that that left my mouth as I was opening the door for Mercedes was, "Are you okay?" And she's holding her ribs, and she goes, "They're cracked." I'm like, and here it is 3 hours later, and you're walking under your own damn power. If I was hurting like that, there would be no way on God's green earth I'd be walking anywhere.
That's true, but you're not Mercedes either.
That
is you're talking about a well-trained, a very physical specimen, as opposed to like you and me. But yeah, going on a road trip to see wrestling, it's good to see it anywhere, independent wrestling, but go on a road trip. I tell, and okay, you might want to go see the big things. I've been to New Orleans. I saw AEW in New Orleans. I've seen AEW in Nashville. I've seen AEW outside, Chicago, various places around the area. But going away and seeing a good independent show. I went to Milwaukee one time. I saw a show up there. I've been to Sanford, Florida. I've seen some wrestling. I've been to Alabama and seen it. We performed, TIWF went to Mount Airy, North Carolina. We were for the AIWF, one of the shows, and we did some things up there, and then we went to McMinnville, Tennessee, and did some stuff. And of course, I've been to a lot of shows in St. Louis, East St. Louis area. It is nothing like, and I'll tell anybody, if you're a wrestling fan, if you go on a trip, if there's some independent wrestling in the area, you go. Take a couple hours to see it. I promise you will not be displeased. You will enjoy yourself because you'll see a different, and you say this, I know you see a different crowd up there than the Tennessee crowd. They act a lot differently. They're definitely, it was fun for me. And this hour has been fun. We've gone almost an hour here and everything. Now, will you come back and you can tell us about the other things the great things that you're doing?
I'll be willing to come back and share other random stuff I've been up to.
Yeah, we want to do that because my thing is everybody has a story, and people need to know it. Everybody should have a legacy that they can leave behind, and I want everybody who's on here to have a legacy they can leave behind. And Will, you have one. You've done. You've been places. You've done some things. You've seen some things, and people need to know.
And boy, have I seen some crap.
Hey! Don't tell all that now.
Okay.
He's on the cover. So anyway, we have Will Blanton here, and I tell you what, Will, do you have any final words you want to say about wrestling or whatever? Your final words. You got about 3 minutes. Get it out.
Okay, so stop with the elitist BS. Stop thinking that one bit of professional wrestling is better than the other. Stop thinking that back in the old days we're better than now. We're in a situation to where, like, multiple people have said this, and it's 100% true. For the boys, we are in a better situation than we were 20 years ago, back when I first started. You have, like, for better or for worse, Triple H is in power of WWE. If he wasn't in that spot, we wouldn't have the WWE ID program. We wouldn't have the ability for people to get their names out there. We have, I think, Aaron Roberts from Memphis Wrestling. He's signed. He's going places. He's doing everything. But wrestling is in a good spot right now to where it's being allowed for it to happen. Forbidden Door. That's just a buzzword. There's so many people working together right now to where it's commonplace. Forbidden Door should shut it already, because there have been so many people. You got TNA and WWE. Let them work. Let them cook for a little bit. You got AEW, GCW, the NWA. Yes, I did consider GCW to be not.
But you gotta say now, there's still always going to be a Forbidden Door, because your two big twos are not going to work together. So, and right now, so that's there is major. You talk about there's a difference in money, even from New Japan and all those places. Then,
right.
So the big two. So there's always going to be. It's just the idea that the door may be a little bit more open now. For certain things, and we'll see what happens with that. But I'm like you, support independent wrestling everywhere.
Yeah,
support everybody's independent wrestling. Doesn't matter where you are, north, south, east, or west. Take your time and support it. Doesn't cost a whole lot, and you can have a great day and a great time doing it.
There might be a shot to where I will be in Minneapolis at the Mall of America to see First Wrestling at the Mall of America in July.
And see, I may be in Texas in July.
Oh, you're going all in?
I'm thinking about it.
Ooh.
If I don't go to All In, of course, I'll be in All Out in Chicago. So,
wait, when is the date of All In?
July 12th.
July 12th? Mm-hmm. 2 days after my birthday.
Yeah, there you go.
And I'll be coming home from Minneapolis.
All right. We've had Will Blanton here, and I tell you what, Will, thank you so much. And we will definitely have you back again.
I'll be willing.
And this Hot Rod saying, see independent wrestling. Go see a great show. Go tomorrow night. Take care. Bye-bye.